We are proud to have a working relationship with Grip Sprints. Grip Sprints is the most effective shoe-to-court traction solution on the market. I've tried a lot of different traction products over the last 28 years and can say with 100% certainty that Grip Sprints is the best. We don't only use Grip Sprints with our athletes, but also with my students in our physical education classes. Enter RBCN10 when purchasing Grip Sprints products, and you'll receive a 10% discount and free shipping. Are you kidding me? In 2025, free shipping? Yep. Contact Grip Sprints via their website and enter code RBCN10 and you'll get 10% discount and free shipping for the best shoe-to-court traction solution on the market. Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We have the legendary Scott Sivills with us, the head girls coach at McCracken County High School from the beautiful state of Kentucky, where high school basketball is still the best show in town. Coach is going to talk to us today about his season and everything and all things McCracken County basketball. So, Coach, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule just to talk with us. And we'll go ahead and just start off with, how's your season going?
Well, so far so good. I mean, it's, when you have to have a rebuild of your team, you're going to go through a lot of ups and downs. And we have a freshman point guard. We have one senior, so it kind of gives you an idea. We've had got some great group of girls, but, sometimes you just got to go through a lot of your bumps and along the road, and plus you have teams in your area that would like to get some revenge on you. So it's trying to get them mentally prepared for tough competition. And so right now we're 11-10 on the season. Probably have lost 3 or 4 that we probably should have won, but also had a couple there that we got by. Probably could have been an easy L. So. But we're probably where we need to be right now. Honestly, we've got 3 weeks left in the regular season. And we've got probably 5 or 6, I think, that are very winnable games for us before going to tournament play. So I like our progress right now.
So how many regular season games do you get in the state of Kentucky?
In Kentucky, we're allowed, if you count every tournament that you play in plus regular season, is 30 games total.
Okay, very good. So who's the best team you faced this year?
Oh my goodness. I would say in our region of Kentucky, I would say Graves County, Marshall County, they're always pretty much every single year got some great basketball talent at those 2 schools. Callaway County is also in our region. We've kind of we went to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and we're central located, southwestern Kentucky. We played a team called Breckenridge County, which is kind of like in between, I believe, Louisville, kind of western. So it's one of those seasons where I've kind of had to watch how I schedule. The last 2 or 3 years, we played perennial powerhouses in our state, around Louisville area, and out of state teams, but we've tried to keep it kind of vanilla in a lot of ways. But we've tried to have, I try to schedule like 2 years in advance, looking at our talent pool that we have in our program, and try to match ourselves up as best as possible. So looking forward to the rest of this year for us, but with only having one senior, it kind of gives us something to look forward to, like going into this summer and next fall.
It's got to be exciting winning 11 games up to this point in time with a freshman point guard.
Yes.
That's very impressive, especially against the type of basketball you're going against. Let's face it, Kentucky's Kentucky. That's where basketball is king. You and I have talked about this a lot over the last couple of years. I think it's the best basketball in the country.
I'm with you on that. I mean, there's some great girls basketball across the country. Not just Kentucky, but, you can look at pretty much every state. I think, Iowa's a place that has really good girls basketball. Tennessee's the same way. I think you can find it everywhere. I think it's getting better. I think the Caitlin Clark has really helped out a lot with that. I think the college game has really helped out a lot. with more kids and more girls getting involved in in basketball. But yes, we have a rich tradition in Kentucky with one true state champion that's going to be crowned here in about 4 or 5 weeks. Sacred Heart out of Louisville is probably right now they're top 25 in the country, and they've got the number probably a top 10 player in the country, and Zakiya Johnson. So she's going to LSU next year. So they're looking right now like going five years in a row winning the state championship. So it's I'm hoping that we'll have someone maybe knock them off, but they're a very, very good program.
Yeah, if you're going to win 5 state championships in a row,
Yes.
and the people here I grew up in Indiana, Bill Green's Marion Giants won 2 in a row, and that was unheard of.
Right.
So yeah, that's off the hook.
It's very, very tough. In Kentucky, it's very, very tough, especially when you have districts that have some very good teams in districts. One of those teams will not make it to the regional tournament. And so that's the thing about Kentucky, is that you can look across our state and see some teams get knocked off early in tournament play, in district or even regional tournament play. So that could possibly happen. Right now, we just sealed the number 1 seed in our district tournament. So we'll have a really great shot at getting to the regional tournament that following week. So that's the thing. You're just trying to advance. We've got 3 weeks left in our season, and then the new season will start the week after that. So that's the fun part of the whole year.
Tell us exactly how your state tournament works, because it is a masterpiece. It is completely different than most other states.
So basically, the state of Kentucky is broken down into 16 regions. Starting in far western Kentucky, where I live, we are a part of region number 1. And then it goes from 1 to 16, all the way to the very far eastern part of Kentucky. So every single team that's in Kentucky will get a chance to compete in the Sweet 16 girls and boys state tournament. So then every single region is broken down into districts. And so like where I live here in Paducah, Kentucky, we have 4 teams that are in our district: McCracken County, St. Mary, Paducah Tillman, our crosstown rival, and Community Christian. And so we all play each other twice during the regular season. And then we are about to have our district meeting here pretty soon, and we will play in the district tournament. So we'll basically take 2 teams from our district, and then we will go, and we have 4 of those in our region. So we'll basically go to Murray State, and we'll have a regional draw. And in the regional draw, you will have the winner of District 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll have the runner-up from District 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so then what they'll do basically is they'll have 4 envelopes, and they'll have the 4 champions draw an envelope, and you basically have it seated like 1, 3, 5, and 7 are your champions, and then your even numbers are your runner-ups. So then let's say that I draw in the top bracket. That means that the runner-up from our district goes to the bottom of the bracket, or vice versa. And then you will basically play that out until you get a regional winner from region number 1. So here in about, I'd say 2 weeks, we will have a state-wide draw on KHSAA, and they also have it on all the radio stations across the state of Kentucky. So then, like you and I are doing a Zoom, you'll be able to go on and watch the Zoom, and they'll have this big, huge broadcast of that. And then they'll have a spinning wheel, like an old-fashioned spinning wheel, and they will do a blind draw for the girls and the boys Sweet 16 state tournament. And so then what they will do is they'll go through every single region and they will talk about every single region, the top 4 or 5 teams in those regions. And you have an idea as a coach, you have an idea of who you don't want to play and who you want to play. And so then they'll start the process and they'll say Wednesday at 12 noon, we'll have region number 12 versus region number 7. And they basically just fill in everything. And what they've done here lately, Derek, is that they have taken the first round games and they basically figure out who has to drive the farthest on the first round games. And they'll kind of plot those because they want a good attendance at those state tournament games. And so then after that, everything just is laid out like normal. That's girls and boys. And so both the girls and the boys state tournament are in Rupp Arena. And the girls state tournament usually is about like March 9th through the maybe like 13th or 14th. This year, the guys have got to wait a whole week because the NCAA has a host site at Rupp Arena. So they have to play at the very, very end of March this coming up year. So I know for us, the last 3 years, we have been very, very lucky to have a great draw in the girls state tournament. So then what you do as a head coach and a staff, you kind of start thinking about, okay, do we have a true shot at getting there? And if so, you start figuring out getting film from different schools. Now, some schools in our state, they'll share film with you. Some schools in our state, they have an unwritten, our region will not share. So, but most of the time we share film. So you have an idea of who you're going to play if you get out of your region.
Danny's Cafe, located in beautiful Rossford, Ohio, is the ultimate pre- and post-game location. RBCN is a supporter of small businesses, and Danny's Cafe is one of our favorites. The University of Findlay basketball legend Brad Morrison has created an establishment that not only offers the best food in Northwest Ohio, but also the best environment to watch and support your favorite high school, college, and professional teams. The only place I've ever seen with more flat screen TVs is Costco. Plus, the service at Danny's is unreal. If you're looking for a clean, friendly, and upbeat place to hang out and enjoy life for a while, check out Danny's Cafe, located directly across the street from Rossford High School. Very similar to Indiana.
Hope that makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense.
But in Kentucky, you have one true state champion.
Right. The way it used to be in Indiana.
Right. And I hate to say this, for me, if we had a class system, we would have probably have won the last 3 in a row if we had a class system. That's the thing. Selfishly, I'd say, hey, let's do it. But then I'm thinking, no, the tradition of our state is we do a blind draw and you just go with it, you know?
Right. Are there coaches in the state of Kentucky who are pushing for classifications?
I don't think so. Right now, here's what you have now, Derek, is that you have, we have what's called a Class A tournament, okay? So basically the Class A schools across our state do the same type of format, but the KHSAA does not recognize that as a so-called, even though you'd say we're a state champion, but they do not look at that as, they look at that as a normal tournament that you would play in a regular season. But we do have some great Class A teams, and they still get to play in the regular state tournament game if they get there. But now here's the situation they got. They've got to really monitor their 30-game limit on their schedule, because they may win the region, the Class A region, go to the state tournament for Class A, and they may be over games. So they may be calling and canceling a couple of games on their schedule. They're now trying to do a 2A type tournament, and there's not very many teams in that, but they recognize a 2A tournament champion, but but in our state, come March, we only have one true state champion.
As it should be, in my humble opinion, as it should be.
Right, right.
Tell us about your postseason. You said you got some really good talent in your postseason, so break that down for us.
As in, we're talking about teams in our district.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We in my 10 years here, we have never lost a district game. And so we played Paducah-Tillman back in the middle of January. And of course, you do have those games where you just don't play well. You have games where you look lost as an Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
And they were throwing it up and hitting everything. And we lost to Paducah-Tillman, our crosstown rival, at home. And so then we have one loss. And then all of a sudden, last week, we had to go to St. Mary and to Paducah-Tillman to win outright the first seed in our tournament. And usually if you get the number one seed, your chances of advancing is about 95 to 98% chance to get there. If you are a 2-3 seed, then it becomes it can be a coin flip on how or it would be a tougher matchup. Okay. To say that. So we found a way to, on the last couple of weeks, to really, really emphasize certain things in practice, and our kids really bought into that. And we found a way to go on the road here locally to St. Mary. It's a Class A school, but they have just some scrappy kids that can play hard. And so if you don't really play against that group on the road, they can beat you. And So then we go to our crosstown rival Friday night, and it's kind of like a revenge game. It's a tough matchup, and so we just talked about how we control our own destiny. We want the number one seed, and so that's the thing too in the regional tournament is that if you lose in the district championship game, and that could possibly happen. You go in as a runner-up. And so that means if you're going in as a runner-up, then you're going to play a champion from the first district, the third, and the fourth district. So that means that your first-round game will be a lot tougher than normal. So that's the reason why we really emphasized winning our district, going into the regional tournament as a district champion.
It makes perfect sense. I really like that format. Kids and fans have to like that as well.
Oh my gosh. And I hate to say this, but there's 2 or 3 regions in our area close by within about 2 hours of us that they've got 3 of the top 3 teams in their region in the same district. And so that's going to end up happening where one team will not make it. I know my first 17 years, I was at Callaway County High School, and we had Callaway County, Murray, and Marshall County, and we 3 were the top 3 teams for about 15 years in a row. So one of us had to sit, and every single district game was an absolute war. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, because you don't want to be the 2-3 team going into the tournament.
Yeah, I can definitely see why.
The stress factor, crazy.
Yeah. Well, that is good stuff. I'm glad we got to make this work. I'm going to be. This RBC in production is sponsored by Game One and LJ Archambault. Get with LJ for any and all of your program's merch needs. You will not find a more capable, loyal, punctual, and honest sporting goods salesman than LJ Archambault. I can most certainly vouch for Game One and LJ, as I have been a client of theirs for nearly 2 decades. Contact LJ at Game One, and you will thank me later. At Game One, it's always game on. Paying a close attention now as you get near and near your regional tournament.
Yes.
And hopefully you will go from regionals then to districts. Is that how it works?
It goes from district to regional.
District to regional.
Yes,
okay.
Sir. And what's really good about our association, they do a really good job of, if you go to khsaa.org, they will be able, when it gets really, really close, to put up like District 1 all the way to District, 70, whatever the districts are, far Eastern Kentucky, they'll be able to put up your district tournament, and then eventually they'll put up all the regional tournament teams, regional sites, and everything. So you'll be able to kind of watch, and you're able to watch games online. You're watching games, who's where, who drew where, because sometimes the luck of the draw is in our state is huge. I mean, it's big time. Matter of fact, since I've been here at McCracken, I take one guy with me to the regional tournament draw, and he's the guy who draws our card out every time. I mean, I'm just superstitious with all that. I mean, he's done a really good job the last 10 years of giving us a good draw. And like for us, we know that I know we're a very, very young team, but I've got 4 or 5 kids that have regional tournament experience. So if we can find a way to get the draw that we want, then we feel like the more games we get, hey, it takes 3 to win to get to Rip Arena. So if we can find a way to win the first one to get to the semis, then we will, as a staff, throw the kitchen sink defensively at who we're going to play. It's for all the marbles to get to Saturday. And we've gone to the regional finals 4 years in a row. And so we want to go back, 5 years in a row, but it's going to be very, very tough this year.
You've got my vote. I certainly wish you the best. And Coach,
Yes, sir.
This has been great. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and updating us on your season.
Yes, sir.
And Godspeed, and keep me in the loop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will.
And Scott, again, thank you so much. Godspeed.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. Thank you for your time.
You too. Good luck.
Bye-bye. Thank you.